start recording. Hey, you want to attend our 5G meeting tonight? It's, an excellent group of individuals. I hope you don't mind, but it's just 3 of us tonight. Sometimes we have Rick, who's outstanding. Sometimes
It's my mother-in-law's birthday today.
Ah, so this is
You gotta go.
2 ladies who shall remain nameless. But
Thursday night I'm going to a group with Pam Pinto and her friends after school. So
cool.
I'll be networking with the whole new group.
Okay, let me do my intro, then you do yours. So,
Okay.
we're having performance issues, but
So Judith, is okay? We're gonna go live like we did last time.
yes,
On YouTube and,
go live.
Yeah. I'll tell you when we're live. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Go. Johnny.
Going live, okay. I'm going to free up some space so that I don't crash. Go ahead.
We don't want you to.
So you do your intro.
All right. Hey, everyone. This is Paska and Judith. We're from the Connecticut for Responsible Technology. We're just back here on this Sunday gloomy day, and we connected with Johnny Flynn.
Connecting.
Got to get to know Johnny Flynn. He's an awesome individual that's been doing some amazing work across the different areas of Connecticut. But in particular, he's got 5 people. So I'll let John introduce himself and why we're here.
Yeah, let's talk about our major stuff. We have a 5G lawsuit in Connecticut. We have 22 defendants. We're piling tons of data on them, and they have no idea what we're talking about, which is wonderful because they are over-radiating Connecticut. This display is Paska's invention. On the right, this is Paska, this is Judith, and I'm in the middle. 2 ladies, and I'm the only man here, if you remember Cabaret. So anyway, here we go. Paska is a mastermind, and the mollusks involved, like Senate Majority Leader Bob Duff and, Saad War and all these individuals who have no idea how much harm they're putting Connecticut in. Why don't you take it away, Paska?
Okay, guys. Well, anyway, thanks again this Sunday afternoon. I had initially been requested by Brookfield individuals, people that wanted to keep Brookfield safe and effective from any kind of radiation assault, because there's an antenna that's being proposed in Brookfield that would really be within a few miles of the school and less than a mile from another tower. And the people there wanted to have some help to figure out, is it true that there's a substantial gap in service? Those words are very important because according to the Telecommunication Act, these companies should be able to put their equipment to service people for cellular phone service when there's a substantial gap. And so they asked me to see what I can do to figure it out.
Right, so here we go.
Guess what?
I'm going to recap. Paska is saying that towns are being told by Verizon, by Qualcomm, by, these people on the left here, AT&T, Verizon, and there's a handful, T-Mobile. They're all maintaining there's gaps in service. Meanwhile, 98% of Connecticut is completely covered. So go ahead.
Exactly. Exactly. So we ended up, I don't know if you can see this, Judith, can you see this device? Yes.
She has a special meter. Go ahead.
Exactly. It's a special meter called a cellular antenna. Oh my God!
Now here we go. Her device only collects.
It's a scanner.
Her scanner only collects 4G data. There is no such invention collecting 5G data yet. So they can't tell you it's safe or not. They have no way to register through a scanner what's actually happening. So go ahead.
So the scanner can only handle 2G, 3G, 3G, 4G, and it doesn't support pick up the 5G signals. And what I mean mean by that in those frequencies that might be considered in the 5G space.
Right.
So what we did is with the group of residents, citizens, Americans in Brookfield, I went out there a few times actually to get a reading of 20 locations. Actually, I need to update this chart because we started out with 8, we added a few more, and then we literally went up to 20.
Right.
And that's what this report shows. So what I did is I collected this data. The machine actually, that little cute machine, that scanner, generates all this data. All I did was generate the colors to attribute to the different providers.
Right.
Then also generate this report card where we're measuring.
Right.
We're trying to determine, what do these numbers mean?
Well, hold on.
This is
What
a
we're
report
saying is
number.
no one is monitoring 5G in the state of Connecticut or across the country for that matter. They don't monitor it. No one is actually capturing the data. There's no way to do it except for the way she devised. So here we go. We have a safety issue we're trying to describe to the court, in my case, with these ladies' help. But what actually happens is Paska here is comparing the RSSI readings, which is a known topic, and we can't use the RSRQ data because it's an unknown. But what actually she's demonstrated right here is huge. She's saying 52% of the Brookfield antenna and RF radiation towers are excessive. Go ahead.
It's true, because if you look at this report card, this RSSI number should be anywhere from 90, in the 70s, you're kind of hitting a little too much power. This is power. Look at this definition, RSSI. It's Received Signal Strength Indicator, okay? It's used to measure the power of these devices.
The radiation, folks, the radiation. Go ahead.
It's a little bit different from radiation. It's actually power coming off of those devices, okay? And what I found was, in doing these sort selects and looking at the number of unique antennas we identified in our 20 location scanning sites, out of the 66 unique identified antennas that we found, that's a lot of antennas, guys. Think about this. 66 unique antennas were found in this area of Brookfield. 34 of them are in this gray zone, which is excessive by every one of these. I was hoping it was just one player. Maybe it was just Verizon. Maybe it was AT&T. No, they're all. Why? To what Johnny just said. No one is monitoring. No one is testing. No one is reviewing these even after they're installed to make sure that there's no glitches. These are very high-powered devices that are excessively beaming into our bedrooms, into our daycares, into our...
Let me interject. In Times Square in Manhattan, there are 2,600 antennas within 1 mile. There are 1,700, there are 2,600 towers. There are 1,700 rooftop antenna, and they're expecting that 90% of them are illegal. Hello, 90%'s a lot. Go ahead.
Well,
Paska, can I interject something here?
Sure, go ahead, Judith.
All right. According to the CT Siting Council, on their website, they have a citizen's guide to Siting Council procedures for cell tower. Quote, the cell phone service provider has the burden of proving to the council that the site selected is needed to provide cell phone service and that construction and operation of a cell tower at the site would not result in significant environmental impact.
Who's responsible?
That's what it says, the cell phone service provider. That's on the CT Siting Council website. It's called the Citizen's Guide to Siting Council Procedures for Cell Tower. It's right
Well,
there.
do you think they're doing their job? Who's doing their job? Nobody.
I hate to refer to these very nice, lovely ladies as watchdogs, but that's what they are.
Well, they're violating their oath, and in every time that we've had any dealings with them where we're appealing for them to do their job, such as public hearings. In the one case in Trumbull, when they were putting a cell tower that's on a piece of property adjacent to an elementary school, Jane Ryan Elementary School, the owner of the property, it was going straight at her property about 25 feet from her living room. She testified under oath that there is no lapse in cell phone coverage. And they had two different cell phone companies with two different antennas. They had no lapse. And she said, you know, you have a cell phone tower, you know, a few hundred feet away over there. I'm just talking from the top of my head, over there, so you don't need one here. And their response, and this was deal with Pura, their response, not signing council, Pura, their response was, oh, well, but that's for a different carrier. So we have to put one on your property, even though there's already a cell tower irradiating the elementary school kids. Pura said, well, we have to put it here because that's a different carrier, two different carriers. And the state of Connecticut, with these public agencies, their priority is to promote competition, fair competition among businesses. So I think it's very heartwarming to know that the state of Connecticut is you know, has a mission statement to promote free competition, and they're so concerned about the business community. Meanwhile, as Paska said, they keep building antennas. But in the case of Jane Ryan School, they had two antennas overlapping, not necessary. She testified, we have total cell phone coverage, there's no lapse. And they built it anyway, and there were about 12 of us testifying and informing them of the proven substantial biological harm that these would bring to our children who are more vulnerable than we are. But nope, they had their multiple antennas with no established proven need. In fact, the need, what was testified was that, in fact, there was zero need, but they insisted on doing it. And, yeah, go back, Paska.
Well, I want to ask Paska for a clarification. Paska, question for you. Ready?
But,
So here we are. Verizon wants a tower, they get it. AT&T wants an antenna, they put it on the tower. The towers share the tower, not the antenna, correct?
correct.
So here we go. If a third party wants another antenna, what happens then?
Guess what? I'm so glad you said that. So what I'm seeing now is applications being submitted by Dish Wireless LLC. Okay, these are the people that own the Dish satellites, and they will get a rubber stamp. So like in Easton, there's an application in for a tower on Everett Road. All right, and I'm sure they're everywhere else because I've seen these applications. But in this one, 9 additional antennas, some of which are 5G, higher frequencies, in an area there's absolutely no need. And guess what? The rubber stamp is going to come out of CT sighting, coming out of the towns. Oh, we cannot refuse this because fair competition, like Judith said. Well, what is fair for the people? Now, this is where I'm getting a little annoyed. What is fair for the people is not considered. No health effects are considered. No redundancy. You know what? Dish has been sharing antennas with T-Mobile and AT&T, I believe, okay, for the last 6-7 years. But now they want to play big. They want their own antennas. They want to be a premier 5G provider. Go to Wikipedia and look up Dish LLC, and it'll say they want to be this virtual 5G.
So hold on, let's
5G provider.
let's get a definition from Judith about adding all these antenna. What is heterodyning to explain it to the public?
Give me a second. I want to read it to you from, this is what I wrote. Let me find it.
It's capturing all the frequencies within
This is an affidavit that I have written, and I have an explanation here. I can tell you off the top of my head.
Okay.
But, 1 second. I'm just looking, if you could bear with me.
It's creating a force field that captures all the radiation.
Paska, do you want to explain it while I look for my explanation? Because I have what I wrote here.
It's a cumulative and additive. It's an additive event. that's happening. I was trying to show a screen on my, I don't know why it's not working.
Well, here we go.
Anyway,
If two people
I
with a
think
Verizon
Charlie's-
phone sit in a car, then through heterodyning, the two 39 gigahertz phones add up to 78 gigahertz, which is above 60 gigahertz where the properties of water change. So what's happening is you're made of water, you sit in a car with a Verizon phone when you have a Verizon phone, and you end up cooking yourself. So when 10,000 people go to a World Cup soccer match, or 100,000 people, they provide boosters for that 5G so that everyone can answer their phone and do a selfie during the same soccer match. And these people are subjected to mass quantities, of RF radiation without their knowledge or consent.
Right.
Oh,
So
I
as
found
you're
it.
mixing all these frequencies, as
Whoops.
we're mixing all these frequencies together, they all start, like a symphony. Okay. You know how if someone comes in on a C note, and I'm not a musician, everything starts harmonizing and then adding and getting higher. And heterodyning is that literally adding up. So, like you were saying, Donnie, if I come in at 2.4 gig and there's a 5.8 gig, that 2.4 can raise up and add up to 7.8 gig or whatever.
Well,
And
here,
adding
so
up.
people understand. Your microwave oven in your kitchen is 2.4 gigahertz. So
Right.
would you put a baby inside it? Then don't put the smart meter near the crib.
Hey, John, tell them what happens when we get up to 60 gigahertz with heterodyning. Now, at 60 gigahertz,
We
the
die.
blood oxygen can no longer be absorbed into the bloodstream. So
Yes,
we
you suffocate.
And I noticed on the Ryerson website, they already were talking about some service of 28 gigahertz. I mean, we're not talking 3 or 4 or 7. Verizon's already pushing 28 gigahertz. So it
I'm
doesn't take
pushing
long.
28 gigahertz in Connecticut right now. There's an application in
so
Berlin.
we get to 60, we suffocate.
Hold
Now,
on,
what
hold
I
on.
have
Let me
here-
put it in terms they might understand. If you're 85 and you have a heart rate of 40 heartbeats per minute, you really shouldn't drive a car because you are suffocating. So you don't have enough oxygen to operate your brain, and you have a car accident.
Why are we having more car accidents on the road nowadays? Huh? Is it all the mega towers that they've been putting alongside the roadways? I can feel them during my commute affecting me. I've had to take shielding measures in my car because I have a 2-hour commute. And there are more accidents. Might that be related? Just putting that out there. Now, I have a nice quote.
Here, watch this. Can you see the video? What would Dr. Evil say?
Not me, but this is a quote from physicist Leo Cashman. The pulsing adds to the frequencies that are actually in the wave, making it hold lots of other frequencies and increasing the biological impact of the wave, the radiation. And then the modulation, putting the information onto the pulsed carrier wave, whether by amplitude modulation or by frequency modulation, adds more actual frequencies onto the wave, and very often those modulating frequencies are very biologically active in their impacts, mostly detrimental on the human or animal's body. I could not have said that myself, but that's from a physicist. It
Well-
leaves me godsmacked hearing that.
Maybe we should talk about the study from 1996, which was found fraudulent, just for a moment and say, hey, if that study was based on short-term exposure to a cell phone at a distance, not next to your ear, then you find out that what they were saying didn't cover long-term exposure at all. and you're being exposed to more and more towers by different carriers that are pulse technology, you could be getting hit with a pulse every 5 seconds.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the pulse modulated microwave radiation, because normal waves in nature are continuous waves, whereas pulse modulated microwave radiation, what is it? It's an outrageous speed. Is it 9,000 per second? It goes like this. It disrupts cellular function.
It's pretty much continuous.
Yeah.
They say it's pulse modulated, but
nature is continuous. But from the frequencies from this technology, it's disturbed. It's pulse modulated. Do you understand? Am I out? Are you losing me?
Think about the best way to, in my opinion, the best way to think about pulse modulated. Think of modulate as a package, and when it's every time it pulses, it's delivering a different size packet. Okay, so one data stream might be 3 gigabytes. Another data stream might be 10,000 gigabytes. You know what I mean? So each one is going to serve a different punch to your DNA at the cellular level. It'll either bend the DNA or it'll actually break, depending on it. But these punches are coming out at us sporadically and consistently all the time.
it's a knockout punch.
Disrupts cellular function. All systems, respiratory, neurological, they're all disrupted. The cells at the cellular level, so we cannot function. Now, it may be a slow death, or some people it's immediate. You don't know how it affects them. My mother-in-law went to the Trumbull Mall. It was a year ago, February, and they have a ton of antennas there, an array, and she's 85. So she went to the mall. She felt very faint in Macy's, and she couldn't breathe. Somehow she made it back to her car. Once inside her car, she could breathe again because the car operates as a Faraday cage, and it blocks all those frequencies. So she recovered, I will say, from the immediate symptoms, but who knows the long-term damage that did to her system. If it's bad enough, she was ready to faint and she couldn't breathe. That's pretty profound. I did inform the town of Trumbull in an illegal affidavit. She did. What happened to her? And since then, they've only added more antennas. They ignored us and added more antennas.
Let me interject. I did serve them with a subpoena.
Well deserved. Well deserved. And there are more.
What's up? Yep.
They have more 5G.
Oh, we're on a 5G conference call.
You found that, Paska and I, on the, CT Sighting Pure website. I guess it's the Pure one. They have more coming up, even though we spoke with them and warned them. So, there you go.
Yeah. No worries. Cool.
So, Judith, I did find a better definition
Talk
of
to you later.
heterodyning is when two or more frequencies are combined to produce two new frequencies that will be combined to become more powerful and therefore more harmful than a single frequency.
That's very simple.
That's the simplest definition
Well, I
because
like
it's a
the one
complex
by
thing.
the physicist, because what that gave me a glimpse was all the interaction between the frequencies and how they carry more. Each wave becomes more loaded with frequencies, additional frequencies and data, which I can't quite understand. But there's a tremendous interaction and complexity involved. And the bottom line, it just expands geometrically, the harm. It's geometric, not additive.
So, I mean, I want to bring this back because now it's 4:59, and I know people want to get to making dinner and stuff.
Yeah,
like
we're
that.
at 24
I
minutes.
think,
I want to say that it is it's like a symphony.
yes.
You're getting hit with the
Harmonizing heterodyning, yeah.
with the oboe and the trumpets, and then you're in with the violins, and each one goes right through you. Goes through cement.
Including that smart meter that's on our house without our permission and without our knowledge, because very few people understand that. And now that's playing in the mix in our community and in our homes and
You
on
know-
that antenna that's being placed on the towers and on our utility poles. And
We
you know
need to have
what?
another
In the
meeting.
state
We
of
need to
Connecticut,
hit these
watch
people
this.
with facts, okay? 600 municipalities in Italy outlawed 5G. 600.
That's amazing.
Well,
And you
also
know, in
another
France,
country. Yeah.
in France, they shut down a tower because it was killing their cows. And a judge actually ordered them in France because, on average, a farmer with like 1,000 cows or so would only lose about 10 cows or so. But he was losing 40. And so what I'm telling people here in Connecticut, if you have expensive, cows are very important and expensive horses. Easton alone has over 200 horses is my estimate, okay? How many other people? And these all are affected. Fertility is affected. Hello?
Well, Paska,
Yeah.
let's talk about the pollinators. We're worried about the cows because we need.
You know what,
It
Judith?
destroys
I
the
totally agree with
pollinators.
you. I agree with you.
And
However,
that gets even worse at that level. And
Folks,
you know,
folks,
the
listen.
FCC was given reports, data about the pollinators, and they ignored it when they set their
Folks.
standard back in 1996.
Folks, Blumenthal went to Phoenix, Arizona, visited a rooftop building where they had numerous illegal antennas because workmen were injured by going up there for a half an hour. So what
Wow.
happened was, AT&T, I believe it was the carrier, got fined 60 grand. Okay, no one knows it. It's in the documents. It's in the
Pat
lawsuit.
on the wrist.
Here we go. They are aware
Yeah.
if they went to this rooftop in Phoenix and they find one and they don't regulate anywhere else in the country. So when you go to East Haven, you know, there's
Go ahead, Patty,
problems.
I'm sorry.
There's problems in East Haven. There's problems in Seymour, Connecticut, Hamden, Connecticut. And the people are totally unaware.
You know what? We have sent legal documents to Lamont, to Tong, to state reps, to here on the Siding Council. They're aware. I mean, this is full of documented, substantial evidence. They are aware. It includes our own data, such
okay.
as Paska's gathered. We've gone out. We've measured things. We all have meters. We have sent this information on.
Well,
And they're choosing to ignore us.
well, hold on. In the 5G lawsuit,
Mhm.
the Attorney General is defending them, and you notified him of his risk, and I
Yes.
asked the judge
I did.
I asked the judge to remove the Attorney General from providing a defense for people who could be causing autism across the state. Not only autism, but infertility across the state to every child.
Alzheimer's, dementia.
Cancer, dementia, Alzheimer's, everything.
Well, if we're going to just cast a net out here, I'll just say I submitted a notice of liability to United Illuminating about their what they forced on our houses, those smart meters, and it was a very extensive one, very extensive.
They
And
say
I
they're
got a
harmless.
letter proving the harm, and I got a letter back from Assistant Attorney General John Wright saying, "Oh, there's no problem here. Just go to the website and take a look. It's fine." No, all the evidence was there. So it's not just Attorney General Tong, it's the Assistant Attorney General sent me a personal letter saying,
Okay.
"Oh no, all my
You know-
concerns were illegitimate."
Well, John Wright should be sued.
He's lying. He's lying because I gave him the evidence.
hey guys, I just wanted to change a little direction here. I just wanted to show this map. This is the Connecticut Education Network, CEN. And look at all this fiber that we have put in all over Connecticut. We have 2,500 miles of optical fiber going to our school and industries. Okay? My question is, why do our schools have exclusive Wi-Fi, so many Wi-Fi routers radiating our children in our classrooms when we already have had, for the last, 10 years or so, fiber in installed to our schools. This is their map, not mine, okay? This is horrendous that we implemented Wi-Fi, wireless, on schools when they have fiber, and all they had to do was hardwire their devices. So think of
Other
the
countries
lab.
don't allow it.
Hold on. That cost
That's
Connecticut
not allowed.
500 million. That infrastructure. That was the price tag for hardwire Connecticut. 500 million, which we fully paid for already.
It's
Right,
done.
but that's different. That's in addition, right? But here's the deal: is these schools already have hardwired fiber optics to the school.
There's no
and
need.
Now the industry has. There's no need. There's no need. They've been.
There is
snookered
no
by
need,
industry
folks,
reps putting
for
out a Wi-Fi router.
Wireless in almost every school in Connecticut. Every hospital, by the way. Every veterans
I went to the
hospital has
It's dangerous.
hardwired Wi-Fi.
Let me tell you, I have written letters to the principals of the schools in Trumbull that have these towers, and with all the evidence of harm, everything, and they will not respond. And I'm saying, hey, you guys are at risk. Nobody's answering. It's very sad, but the children, as we all know, are far more vulnerable, developing brains and thin skulls. It affects them so much worse than it does adults. It's bad enough for us, but to do it to children is absolutely unconscionable.
Every
Another country's
nursery,
gonna allow it.
every
for children.
nursery, every veterans hospital, every acute care facility, every old age home.
It's a sin against children to
And look
expose
at this
them.
school in Greenwich. Look at this school in Greenwich. This is an actual picture taken by someone who resides in
Yep.
Greenwich. Okay?
Yep.
5G antenna right across the school.
Well, they have them
Why?
adjacent to the schools. They have this huge macro tower on the Merritt Parkway, directly adjacent to the Boys and Girls Village in Stratford. They're picking on orphans. There's no need for
Greenwich has a cancer
huge
cluster
tower.
around one of those schools. I've read about it.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
But this is really the best too. Look at this. They hide 5G and other antennas in a chimney, Johnny.
I saw that.
Okay?
Yeah, I have
Why?
that picture. It's awesome.
Because they know we know.
That's an exhibit in the lawsuit.
Paska, do you have the picture of the flagpole at the Beardsley Zoo where those poor animals are suffering? They have these very thick
Not-
flagpoles.
Not in here. Not in here.
I have
but
one. Do you want me to? I can put it up. I don't know.
Put
You
it
just
up.
tell me about it.
So, I mean, John, what happened is I took my I was with my family at the zoo, the Beardsley Zoo, and I had my meter because I'm one of those geeky people that carry their meter with her in my purse. And I was curious.
I have my meter.
I have my meter.
I was like shocked with the radiation level. I was shocked with the radiation.
This is the one I recommend. My meter is this meter. It rocks.
Oh, I got it here. I got it.
I don't know.
All right, it's on my screen, Paska.
10 Mars TM 195 3 axis RF strength field meter.
Okay.
179 big ones.
Let's see, Paska. Where's the button for me to share my screen? What do I do with
You know,
this?
I'm so new with this restreaming thing.
This is a new one. Let me see.
Yeah, you have to adjust the video part.
See if you have a screen share thing on
Yeah,
your.
that's what I'm
on your
looking for. I'm new to this. Let's see. What's that? I'm afraid to hit buttons. Oh, screen share. Allow. Okay.
There you go.
Did it go
I
up?
see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
So
press
you
on
know
it.
when they have these very thick flagpoles. I think we should go take a look at the animals. I'd like a FOIA on how the animals are doing at the Beardsley Zoo. It was never great before. It's kind of depressing. I hate to see it now. But with these thick we don't know how many antennas are going inside.
Well, let's put it this way. 0.05 RF radiation causes frogs to be infertile. 0.05 frogs. And the DNA of a frog is very similar to human, unfortunately. It's one of the closest genomes. And if 0.5 RF makes a frog infertile, why did we set the Connecticut limit to 600, which in fact it's testing at 1,000 as an average?
Well,
Well,
we really
why
don't
is-
have any guidelines. We have no guidelines. They're
They
garbage
say they
guidelines.
do. Why in Europe is the standard for most European countries 10 microwatts per meter squared, which is still, harm starts at 1, okay? It's not great, but at Europe, the standard is 10 microwatts per meter squared, but in America, it's 1,000 microwatts per meter squared, and that causes excessive damage.
Yes.
But when I go off my meter to where I work, it's 1,900 microwatts per meter squared. To the town hall, it's microwatts, 1,900 microwatts per meter squared. So say the FCC standards, which are a joke, are like at 1,000, which is abysmal.
Well, hold on.
Everywhere I go, we're way above that.
You see this? 700 RF makes your hair fall out. You think
There you go.
I want
I'm getting
1,000?
cataracts. I'm
Yeah.
getting cataracts. Let's talk about
700.
those, well, that's a different. I'll go into that subject later. I was talking about the headlights, what they're putting in those, but that's something different.
Well, I read that 11 RF causes retinal detachment, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
Italy, Russia, and Poland are 10 RF as their legal limit. But
How come they're
12,
protecting their population, but we aren't? We're not
12,
protected.
13, 14, and 15 cause thyroid cancer and breast cancer, brain cancer, and the fourth one is lymph node cancer. So here we are, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, infertility. Wow.
Sounds
That's,
like an existential crisis.
it'll
doesn't it?
kill your sperm. No, it's a
What do we have coming up next with the next generation? Are we going to have a replacement generation coming up?
no, they want to wipe out a generation.
Well, let's not go to Yuval Harari.
They'll have robotics.
That's right, transhumanism.
Well,
Elon Musk is now saying we have to allow transhumanism to defend ourselves against AI. Did you read that latest one? Because AI is going to take over, and AI is the devil. So we have to, some of us, a certain percentage of the population, according to Elon Musk, has got to allow themselves to morph into AI transhuman hybrids so that they can protect the rest of us from AI. That's what Elon Musk has said.
well, I didn't tell you about my last motion in the 5G case, but let me mention what it is.
Yeah.
Neuro rights into our Connecticut state constitution.
Yes.
They're
That's
gonna
true.
throw that motion out like it's nobody's business.
Well, you know, the science is way ahead of the ethics. I mean, our morality, you know what? Our cultural morality and ethics is regressing while the science is just exploding into uncharted territories. We are not equipped to deal with all this. And most people talk about ethics are in denial about the harm they're causing their children because they like the convenience.
Do you
So what do
realize?
we do about all this?
Do you realize a few things? In the lawsuit, we asked the judge to remove the chips, biometric Yale chips, in Phil Marie, and the judge said no. And I
Why?
explained
How
to
can you
the
do that?
judge
It's
that
his
it's
body.
torture, daily torture.
It's
So
his
hold on,
body.
hold on. I could appeal any one of these decisions and take it to the Supreme Court.
Mhm.
I think we should. Unfortunately, folks, these things cost money. And the benefit, I can't even tell you, there's over 1 million targeted Americans on Twitter. They have Havana Syndrome, they have MK Ultra, they have all these people are sending me affidavits, documents, telling me their life story on Twitter in Messenger. And you know what? Here I am. I have my finger in the dike and the dam is breaking. These people have nowhere to go.
You know, John, people, for those who like to dismiss us as whack jobs, Havana Syndrome is the officially sanctioned term for American State Department officials who were abused by the irradiation in Cuba.
Hold on.
DC. So we're
Hold
not
on.
sweat jobs.
We're not in denial. You know why?
Mhm.
Because Biden passed the Havana Act.
What was that?
Reparations for injured parties due to the federal government's DARPA shit.
He did?
Yeah, a year and a half ago. Right when he came into office. Biden did one thing right.
And who's getting the reparations? State Department officials?
Everyone who is at the embassy, over 200 people. There's 3
So
doctors
this is what-
involved. It's in the
Right.
lawsuit. Read the thing. It's all in there. It's a home run. Now, if the Biden administration passed the Havana Act, hello, and Marco Rubio co-wrote it, there's no reason why the state of Connecticut is allowing Yale to do the same goddamn thing.
Come on, you know why, Johnny, you know why.
I know why.
Yale is run by who in the UN and has nothing to do with America. I'm sorry.
I know why.
Our universities are owned by foreign interests. They're bought
Exactly.
and sold by foreign interests.
I have discovered things that are unconscionable.
Exactly.
What, Yale? Usually Yale, right?
You know, Annie Lamont pays Yale doctors' salaries out of SEMA 4.
Well, I'm an employee with, somebody, and SEMA 4, when we had to get the testing done.
Don't bring it
SEMA
up.
4,
Don't make
anyway.
yourself, don't
right,
continue
take it
the
out.
sentence.
Okay, I'm not. I just said somebody.
Somebody, I know.
Somebody.
Well, anyway,
All right.
I think we should wrap it up.
Maybe you
Yep,
should cut
let's
out
wrap
that
it
part.
up.
So God bless you, ladies. All I can tell you is that January 6th of this next upcoming year is a game changer in Connecticut.
That's right. The whole country.
Follow USCV Utah 380.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you told me that, was it you who explained to me how the Supreme Court justices are kind of cornered on this one? They really have to abide by this?
A lovely lady named Dawn is arranging a Connecticut conference call with the Brunsons.
Oh, excellent. I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear it.
And I shall be a speaker.
Uh-oh, that's trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it all hang out.
Okay.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. Is it going to be public?
I can get you 2 ladies in on it.
That would be great. I'd love it. I've read the case.
It was going to be an event, but it's too close to Christmas for the Brunsons with their... Did you see yesterday the Epoch Times did a story about the Brunsons?
Oh, I have
Yeah.
to find it. No,
I
I was
saw
too
that.
busy.
I shared it today on my YouTube, Twitter.
I was busy making gummy bears, okay, and other things, and food preservation.
Well, too bad Philip is handling it because my man Roman is the bomb.
I'll have to take a look at it. So stay tuned. We want everyone to feel encouraged. To go to the Pura site, go to CT Sighting, find out what's being put into your town, and literally understand what they're installing, and you have a right to say no. Everybody has a right to the protection and privacy of their home, and we have a right to be safe in our home. I don't give a hoot about FCC, and we shouldn't give a hoot about FCC, all right? They're just an agency. They're not.
And agencies, as you know, from the Supreme Court, do not have the authority to make law and impose laws.
Exactly. Thank you. West Virginia versus the EPA. Look up the case and understand it, and it applies to all agencies, including, guess what? Our Connecticut employees. Our
Yeah.
Connecticut employees work for us. All right? They don't work, we don't work for them. So if we want to say no, we should should have the strength and the fortitude to object because we have abundant evidence of harmful effects.
We have 11,000 exhibits for Judge Meyer. The bad news about the judge in the 5G Connecticut case is that he has a signed confidentiality agreement with U.S. Senator Blumenthal, taking all the bribes. Just like OxyContin.
Wow.
Can he be recused?
I asked him to recuse himself, and he said no.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's see if he can be fair.
Well, he is our fourth judge, but he is a Yale professor on the side. What do you think?
Uh-oh.
Don't worry, I got this.
I guess we'll be changing venues, John. We'll have to change
No,
venues.
I
to
got
another
this.
court.
I got this.
I'm sure you do.
I
Hey,
have
guys, is
17.
anyone here listening
I
wants
have
to contribute to
17.
John?
I do have 17 Navy SEAL friends.
I didn't know that.
Yep,
Wow.
they're down.
Yeah, if you
John,
get
can I
the
just
John,
say one thing and we'll close this off?
I gotta go, yeah.
Where, if people want to contribute to your efforts for the lawsuit, where should they contribute and how do they contact you?
The
'Cause I'm not
site,
collecting any money.
the site is down because 9 of our bank accounts have been hacked.
Oh, wow.
The site is flynn2022ussenate.com.
Okay.
We are now at Patriot Bank because we got hacked all over the damn place. Unfortunately, they don't have the ability to collect from a Wix site, which we are a Wix site. So we're moving to People's Bank, MT, whatever it is, and
MT.
they can't find the forms.
Okay. Do you have a P.O. box we could send cash?
You can send checks to 31 Quintard Avenue, Norwalk, Connecticut, 06854. That would be greatly appreciated.
What'd you spell it?
31 Quintard Avenue, like the Captain Quintard. He's a famous sailor. Quintard Avenue, Norwalk, Norwalk, Connecticut, 06854. Now, write in the caption 5G, please. I will not put it in the campaign account if I don't think I can, but I'm working it all out. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
keep in mind, folks,
All right.
we've been funding this ourselves. I got 50 grand in so far, so I'm at my limit, because if I spend 51 grand, I have to file with the FEC, which is a nightmare.
Yeah.
So,
I hear you. And I have to tell everybody that's listening, this 5G effort, I founded this with someone else, in 2019 after they passed that acceleration bill, which they basically did to rush through 5G without any of our awareness and our consent. And we have, this is a grassroots. We've raised money only really to support printing, and it's people like Judith and other members that have privately helped me fund some printing and things like that. We have not raised a lot of money, but that's going to be changing soon because we're going to need help in order to move this to the next level with affidavits that we have written, that we need to serve towns, and we need to educate them on the law, that we have a right to say no, and they have a duty to honor their oath of office. So we're still a grassroots organization, unincorporated, with the intention just to really make people aware of what they can do. So I want to thank you guys for today. Thank you, Johnny, for the opportunity to share the latest data. And I thought this excessive amount of power in our community that's been, basically overlooked, unwatched, unmonitored, unassessed is really critical, because that means that we're being harmed every day that we drive on public right-of-ways and public roads and going to work and sending our kids to school. And that's just not right. Anyway, have a great Sunday night, night, everybody.
I want to
And
thank,
see you
I want to
soon.
thank Judith. Hold on. I just want to thank Judith for having the foresight to, out of the get-go, we sent many affidavits to our elected officials. Mrs. Simmons, Nick Simmons, Marissa Paslick, all these Pura, Citing Council, Senate Majority Leader Duff, Themis Claridis, all these people, Saad Anwar, who's a state senator, she had the foresight to send them admissions in the lawsuit that they've never answered. So therefore, they already breached their oath of office. They are in big trouble because I love to cross-examine these people.
Well, especially when the Brunson lawsuit goes through, which holds elected officials liable if they do not honor their oath. It's considered treason.
Correct. Bye-bye, Blumenthal, Murphy, Himes, DeLauro, Hayes, Larson, and Joe Courtney.
There you go.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
All right, guys.
All right, I gotta go.
Great night. Talk to you soon, okay?
Okay.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye.
Excellent.